We are glad to welcome you to our channel. Kindly subscribe to our channel and share our videos with your friends and relations. And click on the bell icon for instant notification whenever new videos are uploaded on this channel. Rest assured that we are going to have a very exciting and inspiring discussion. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Hello and welcome to today's lesson on how best to write a perfect WASSCE story. If you are preparing for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, otherwise known as WASSCE, and you are wondering how to ace the story writing section, you are in the right place. In this lesson, we will explore the easy steps to take in order to write a good story, and we will also provide a sample story in response to a WASSCE question from 2018. This is English Classes Online, and I am your host, Benjamin. Let's dive into the world of story writing. Let's begin with step number 1, understanding the prompt. Understanding the prompt. The first step in writing a great WASSCE story is to thoroughly understand the prompt or the question. Read it carefully and make sure you grasp what it is asking for. Make sure you have a complete understanding of what you are asked to do. In our case, let's look at the 2018 WASSCE question, and it is as follows. Write a story ending with the statement, "I wish I had told the truth." This statement gives you a clear idea of the theme and ending of your story, and this is what you must take note of. Understanding the meaning of the statement will enable you to write a convincing and conceivable story that has a beginning, a climax, and a conclusion. If you do not understand what you are asked to write or the meaning of the statement that your story should end with, you may jump into writing a story, but the story will not be relevant to the theme that you have been given. So the first step is to understand the prompt. Step number 2, planning your story. Once you understand the prompt, it's time to plan your story. Identify the characters, setting, and plot. Of course, the characters are the agents or the people involved in the story. The setting is the place and time of the story, and the plot has to do with how you arrange the events or the incidents in the story. Then you decide on the main conflict and resolution. In the context of our prompt, consider who your protagonist will be. The protagonist is the main character in the story, and then where the story takes place. All right, and what events will lead to the statement, "I wish I had told the truth." So you invent a story that will be relevant to this statement. This is very important. Step number 3, introduction. In your story, the introduction is where you set the scene and introduce your characters. Okay? Provide some context and engage your reader from the beginning. For instance, you might start with a line like, "As I lay in my bed in a dark and stormy night, I found myself haunted by a secret I could no longer bear." You see, you can start it, you can set whatever scene you consider best. Okay, this is just an example. Step number 4, building conflict. Conflict is an essential part of a fascinating story. The body of your story is where you build up the conflict. This is where things start to go wrong or where your main character faces challenges, okay? In our case, the conflict should revolve around a false accusation that leads to the death of the accused, who actually is a major character. Step number 5, climax and resolution. The climax is the turning point in your story where the conflict reaches its peak. Okay, it is the moment that leads to the statement in the prompt, I wish I had told the truth. Okay, when the story gets to its climax, the tension builds up and then it gets to its peak, and this is the moment, all right, that elicits the statement, I wish I had told the truth. Make this part of the story intense and emotional. When you do that, of course, at a point you create suspense and the reader is wondering what is going to happen next, until it gets to its climax. Okay, this is what makes a story interesting and gets the reader wanting to know, to read more, to find out what will eventually happen. Okay, the resolution should tie up loose ends and bring the story to a satisfying end. Okay, now step number 6 is the conclusion. This is where things are resolved and then we come to a learning point, because every story must give a definite lesson about life for it to be meaningful. So in the conclusion, wrap up your story and leave the reader with something to think about. That's the best way to write a story. You can reinforce the theme of the story or leave the reader with a thought-provoking message. In doing this, you must comply with the instruction in the question by ending the story with the statement, I wish I had told the truth. Okay, so most students actually uh, omit this statement, and omitting this statement is a mistake that most students make, and they lose a lot of marks as a result of that. So you must include this particular statement because you are told to write a story ending with this statement. So you have to end your story with this statement to comply with the instruction. Now, let's get to looking at a sample story, and this story is in response to this question. Write a story ending with the statement, I wish I had told the truth. This is taken from English paper 2 of West African Senior School Certificate Examination of 2018. Okay, PC second, of course, there are different series. So PC second of 2018. So this is how we can do it. You can give your story a catchy title. We can call this story The Danger of Negative Silence, because this actually is relevant, because we are ending with the statement, I wish I had told the truth. So if I didn't tell the truth, it means I kept quiet, or I was silent in a way that was negative, that wasn't really good. Okay, so The Danger of Negative Silence can be a good title. Now, your story should begin with introduction. So this is how you can start. As I lay in my bed in a dark and stormy night, I found myself haunted by a secret I could no longer bear. The events that transpired that night had taken a life unjustly accused and punished. You see, you have introduced the story. Okay, now one of the mistakes that most students make is to write a story that is too long and irrelevant. Okay, and in some cases where the story is even a bit relevant, it becomes so so long that the student ends up not, ending the story well. So do not bite more than you can chew. Okay, that's the best way to write a very good story. Now we can go to the body. We have introduced it, you know, the beginning, and then we get to the body, and this body should begin to build up the conflict. Okay, the accusations against Okon were vicious and baseless. You see, we have introduced the character. The character here is Okon. There were accusations against him which were vicious and baseless. He was blamed for a crime he didn't commit. With a heavy heart, I knew the truth, but fear held my tongue captive. The weight of my silence grew unbearable as the town's anger intensified, ultimately leading to Okon's wrongful death. You see, that is what the story is about. Okay? Next paragraph, we begin to look at the climax. The night of the false accusation had been etched in my mind. Okon was dragged out of his home, his pleas of innocence falling on deaf ears. The mob's fury was relentless, and they took justice into their own hands. In that moment, I realized that my silence was not only cowardly, but complicit in his tragic fate. All right? Now, the resolution. As the years passed, my conscience was burdened by the knowledge that I had the power to prevent this injustice, but chose not to. This realization has continued to torment my conscience till date. I wish I had told the truth. You see, the story is brief, but it is clear. All right, so that's the kind of story that can actually win you maximum marks in an exam as important as the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. Okay, and there you have it. In summing up, okay, writing a great WASSCE story involves understanding the prompt, planning your story, creating an engaging introduction, building conflict, reaching a powerful climax, providing a satisfying resolution, and concluding thoughtfully. You see? So that is exactly a very important way to write a good story. With practice, you can master this art and excel in your exams. So start writing your own stories and keep improving your story writing skills. Good luck with your WASSCE preparations. If you have enjoyed today's lesson, make sure you give a thumbs up to this video and share it with your friends, especially those who might be sitting their WASSCE or any other English exam. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. see you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video.